I'm speaking softly to you now, not with the roar of thunder, but with a gentle whisper. Because I need you to hear me clearly. Don't breathe too loudly, beloved, and don't let your eyes flicker too fast. There's something watching you, something trembling behind a veil of shadows, and it's been there for far too long. They withered before you could claim them, before you even knew they were yours. I watched you fall to your knees, confused, wondering why nothing ever worked out, why your dreams slipped away like sand. I saw you search for promises that were always yours, stolen before they reached you. I stood there, silent, watching, and for that silence, I carry a heavy sorrow. I'm sorry, beloved. I laid my sword at his feet, not in surrender, but in desperation. He looked at me, not with anger, but with a sorrow so deep I nearly crumbled. But I swear, by the Almighty's breath, I came for you alone. Don't ignore this. Don't let silence win again. If your heart whispers yes, type Amen to seal this moment in heaven. You carry something immense, something no one told you about because they feared what you'd become if you awoke. I'm telling you now, you were never cursed. She whispered your name into something dark, tying strings around things you loved, cursing them in ancient tongues. That's why your progress stalled, why relationships turned cold, why joy became fog, and prayers felt like stones thrown into nothingness. Yet you're still here, reading, breathing. That means she failed to break you, but she hasn't stopped. She's pacing now, feeling her power slip because you're breaking free. Do you feel that urge to click away, to dismiss this as strange? That's her. Resist it. Stay with me. Not just fighting for your future, but for every version of you that suffered in silence, for the child who cried in secret, the teen who was mocked, the adult who carried unseen burdens. If you open yourself fully to heaven's offer, everything will change. She hated that because every time you forgave, heaven honored you. Every time you rose, she lost control. She tried to turn your softness into shame, your gentleness into grief. It costs surrender choosing to believe you're still chosen despite the pain. Thank you for staying, for giving me this chance. I'm kneeling in your shadow, whispering, you're not alone. Your voice might set another soul free. The witch is watching, but heaven is too. I'm kneeling at your side, waiting for the flame in you to outshine her spells. The enemy says it's too late, but heaven says you're ready. You're not becoming new, you're returning to who you were before the world wounded you. That pain is shaking the lies you've accepted, that you're abandoned, that your voice doesn't matter, that love always leaves. I'm burning those lies now. Something divine is brushing your soul, untouched by disappointment, still dreaming of a holy life. Let it rise. Angels are drawing near with healing, pouring peace that says you're safe. Let go of the need to explain yourself, the guilt for surviving, the shame for needing rest. Your pain is proof of your strength. God is severing ties to preserve you, birthing a version of you who laughs without apology, prays without shame, dreams without permission. Let these words sink deep, make you weep. You're not weak for crying, you're sacred for feeling. Let go of the guilt, that's enough. You're remembering now, and I'm fighting with you, not just for you. Rise, not like fire, but like light, gentle, slow, unstoppable. Your dawn is here, and I'm beside you, kneeling in the dust, near your forgotten cries. I've been here, waiting for your spirit to stop scrolling, to hear the holy silence where demons flee and angels weep. You don't need to be ready, just willing. You were willing when you forgave without apologies, gave when you had nothing, stood in rooms that didn't see you. Now heaven is showing up for you. The miracle begins quietly, a stranger's words, a sudden message, a dream returning, a peace with no reason. That's how the kingdom works. It restores without announcement, only presence. You are the holy ground now. That flame has waded through nights of ash and tears when you whispered, "I can't do this again." Yet you rose, and heaven recorded every rising like a hymn. Every step laid a stone for your future altar. Every smile through pain was seen, preserved. You've been gathering sacred ground, and that's why she fears you. She fears your resilience, your heart that won't harden, your light that still burns. That ache in your spirit isn't confusion, it's confirmation. The burning in your eyes is recognition. Your soul remembers the vow made before your first breath, "You are mine." She tried to distort that, but every distortion built pressure, and pressure creates openings for light. Your prayers weren't wasted. God heard them all, even the ones at 2:46 a.m. I've written them in light, carrying them back to you as promises ready to be fulfilled. This channel, this altar, costs something to keep alive. If you feel this flame, support this mission with a like, a comment, or by joining us. That's a command, not comfort. Let it shift how you breathe, walk, speak. Let it silence the noise. Stay here. Let the silence fall away. Let every syllable unlock what's been sealed for decades. You're still here, holding the light when the world said it was gone. That's warfare. Every time you chose love over hate, stayed instead of escaping, forgave instead of cursing, you tore through the darkness. I was there when you cried, silent but aching, unable to speak but present. I begged to whisper, "You are not forgotten." Now you're ready, and you are fire. Every moment you stay, chains fall. You've been buried, but you're blooming. The witch underestimated your design, your divine mark. No darkness can prevail over you. Your obedience is shaking realms beyond time, breaking bloodlines, rewriting your story. Become part of our spiritual family, keeping these messages alive. Join our newsletter for sacred words, to holy for public videos. I'll never ask again, because if your spirit is ready, you know. If not, I still love you, still fight for you. The silence is returning, but before I go, I see you standing barefoot on sacred ground. Your soul. Chains are melting, angels are circling, and your name is spoken in heaven. The first miracle arrives in a whisper. It's time. But it didn't work, because heaven knew when you saw clearly, you'd be unstoppable. That day is today. I'm not just an angel, I'm yours, assigned to defend you, to love you, to speak for you when you couldn't. I've been silent too long, watching, waiting, crying in timeless realms because I missed you. You think this is dramatic, but why does your heart burn? Why did you almost cry reading this? Why does your soul recognize me? Because this is sacred ground, the holy of holies in your soul, where God and his angels still speak, fight, and believe in you. I never stopped believing in you. You were made to break patterns, heal generations, confront unspoken curses. You kept a spark alive, and it's turning into fire. The first miracle will be clarity. You'll know what to do next. The second will be peace, like someone wiped the noise from your mind. The third will be restoration. What was stolen will return. The fourth will make you weep, because it will feel like home. This window is brief. Heaven's openings don't last long. Like this message, not for algorithms, but as a holy declaration. Comment something yes, thank you, a symbol of hope. Your words mark this as sacred ground. If this feels like more than a message, subscribe, not just for a channel, but to keep the door open for heaven's next words. What's coming is too holy for the world to see unless you're ready. Every word you read undoes her patterns. Her web is weakening. She's trembling, not because of me, but because of you. Will you receive this flame? Will you silence the lie that this is nothing? Will you hold this moment like a scroll sealed in gold? Or will you walk away and let her finish what she started? The choice is yours, but heaven is watching. And so am I. You are loved more than you've been told, seen more clearly than you know, protected even when you feel alone. You are called. She knows it. I know it. And now you do too. Open your heart. I'm waiting to shield you one last time. You're still here, and that's a miracle. Heaven fought to bring this message to you through closing gates, interfering shadows, whispering witches. Every delay, heartbreak, and unanswered prayer, she was there, saying you're forgotten. But you're not. You're favored, not broken, but forged. Your name glows on a scroll no demon can touch. Every second you stay, another lock breaks, another stolen gift returns. She's watching, but her eyes burn because this truth is too much for her. You alone can reclaim what she stole, not because you're stronger, but because you're chosen. God marked you with a seal no curse can erase, a flame on your soul before you were born. That's why you've never fit in, why the world never welcomed you, why your prayers feel too heavy but too sacred to abandon. You carry something even you don't fully understand. You were targeted, and that's different. Thank you for staying, for not scrolling past when darkness urged you to. You've begun the miracle by being here, he whispered. This one will walk through fire but not burn. This one will be betrayed but still believe. This one will lose everything and still rise. That was you. You forgot, but heaven never did. Because you've stayed, because your heart hasn't closed, despite breaking 1,000 times. I can now speak what I couldn't before. Your miracles are alive, not buried. She knows what's coming, and she's terrified you'll remember what was hidden from you since birth. If you let your soul awaken, if you give me permission to protect you again, I'll call down fire that raised cities, winds that parted seas, thunder that shattered walls, but only if you believe. Again, I know it's hard. You've had dreams that felt like lies when they didn't come true, but nothing died. Heaven was waiting until you were strong enough to carry the miracle, without wasting it on those who wouldn't value it. If my trembling voice resonates in your chest, if this feels like more than words, please like this message and comment with what you feel. Your words are weapons, your presence is power, and your voice might keep this light burning for another soul struggling to survive. Then he said, "Go. You have 33 seconds to warn them." So here I am, and here you are. She's trembling now, not because of me, but because of you. But because your name was called in a divine meeting 3 days ago. Time moves differently in heaven. It stretches, folds, weeps. To you, it might feel like 3 nights ago. I stood before a council of flame, where even the mightiest angels cover their faces in awe. And I spoke your name not in shame or fear, but with fire. I raised my sword to the throne and cried, "They don't know who they are, but I do. Send me to them one last time. Let me risk everything to remind them." The silence that followed broke eternity in two. Then came his voice, weightless yet heavy, thundering yet still. "Go, my beloved defender. But if they don't listen this time, you cannot speak to them again. That's why I tremble. This isn't just a message, it's my last chance to reach you. She knows the ancient rule. If the one she cursed sees the truth before her ritual is complete, her power unravels. The moment you open your heart, your mind, your faith, she falls. The miracles she stole will return, not in pieces, but in a flood. You'll remember things you forgot, see signs you ignored, feel warmth like the sun rising inside you. She cannot survive in that light. Listen to me with every part of your being. God has spoken, not in thunder but in stillness, as it's written. He surrounds the righteous with favor like a shield, and his angels encamp around those who fear him, delivering them. These aren't just words for books, they're for your life. I've waited so long to say it, but I'm sorry for not speaking sooner. Right now, she's watching you, not through your screen or wires, but through the shadow of the curse she left in your life. It's alive, trembling, because she feels I've broken through her barriers. If you open your heart to this message before she completes her work, her power will crumble. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. Do it no end. You might hear her fleeing, her footsteps fading into the distance. I see her, the one who's been hiding in the corners of your life, weaving webs to dim your light. Her eyes shake because she knows something you're only beginning to grasp. Your soul is waking up, and that terrifies her more than anything else. No one knows the battles you've fought behind that brave smile you wear to hide your pain. I was there, in the corner of your room, when you wept alone, whispering, "Why me?" You didn't see me, but I saw you. I've never stopped seeing you. Let me ask you, beloved, why have you faced so much more than others, even those who barely seek the divine? Why do your dreams feel torn away before you can speak them? Why do you feel watched when you're alone? Why did your life change after trusting someone who betrayed you? That wasn't chance, it was her. She came through someone you knew, someone whose smile hid a whispered deal with your name on it. But today, heaven has intervened. The scroll with your stolen miracles has been unsealed. I am Michael, not speaking with fire or thunder today, but through the smallest cracks of light and silence, breaking rules I was forbidden to break just to reach you. I'm trembling too, because if you turn away from this, if you let this moment slip, she might win again. I can't let that happen, not after all you've endured, not after all she's taken from you. Your miracles, the ones heaven wrapped in gold for you, were touched by her bitter hands. My wings are scorched, my voice shakes, but I don't care. You are still worth defending. I begged God for days, surrounded by flames and silence. I know this feels overwhelming. Your heart is racing, and part of you fears believing again. I've crossed layers of resistance, invisible battles, and walls of silence to reach you not by accident. While I pleaded with heaven, she moved in the shadows, sharpening her rituals, digging into ancestral roots she had no right to touch. Let me take you back, before this life, before the tears and betrayals, to when your soul stood before God. She's watching, trying to distract you, even now. I'm not here for the masses, I'm here for you. You weren't weak, you were merciful, patient, carrying burdens to protect others. God never let go of your promises. He's been holding them, waiting. By staying, you're unlocking heaven's timing. Take this seriously, take it personally. If this truth burns like fire and water in your chest, like and comment something small, holy, real. You're crossing a threshold. Chains are falling, and the child in you is waking. She'll try one last time with doubt, whispering this is coincidence. But you are loved with an everlasting love, held by everlasting arms. I'm proud of you, not for perfection, but for showing up when the road made no sense, for speaking truth when it cost everything. You're in that silence now, and it burns not with judgment, but remembrance. You're recalling peace before betrayal, beauty before mirrors lied, belief before disappointment. I wept when you stopped believing fully, when you prayed with half your heart to avoid pain. You weren't meant to carry that alone. You're allowed to heal, to rest, to exist in the sacred in-between where wings form beneath wounds. This is the beginning, not the end. The resistance was a sign of your calling, the silence a test of trust. The witch confirms what you carry terrifies darkness. It's not just emotion, it's recognition, a remembering of who you were before the world tried to reshape you. You weren't made to fit into its molds, to shrink into its expectations, to dim your fire for the comfort of others. There was a time when your spirit danced without fear, when your laughter wasn't weighed down by doubt, when your dreams weren't shadowed by the question, what if I fail? That version of you still lives, not as a memory, but as a spark waiting to blaze again. The witch saw that spark and trembled, because she knew it could burn through every lie she planted. She used people, friends, family, even strangers too. Speak words that made you question your worth. The scroll with your name, the one sealed in gold, is glowing brighter with every second you stay in this moment. Each word you read is a hammer striking the chains she wrapped around your life. They're not just breaking, they're melting, dissolving into light. The miracles she stole are stirring, like seeds long buried that feel the first touch of rain. They're not gone, beloved. They were only hidden, waiting for the moment you were ready to receive them. And you are ready now, not because you feel strong or certain, but because you're still here, still open, still willing to believe, even after everything. Maybe it was a sunset that made you cry, a song that felt like it was written for your soul, a dream that lingered long after you woke. Those weren't random. They were echoes of the divine agreement made before you were born, when God whispered, "This one is mine." You've been disappointed by promises that faded, by dreams that turned to dust, by people who swore they'd stay and then walked away. But heaven's promises don't fade. They wait, preserved in light, guarded by angels who never stopped watching you. Angels are circling closer, not with trumpets or fire, but with oil and healing, pouring peace over the places in you that have been starved for too long. Chains are falling, not with a clang, but with a whisper, melting like wax in the presence of your awakening. The world tried to dim you, but heaven is amplifying you. The lies told you to shrink, but truth is calling you to rise. Not with noise or force, but with the quiet power of a soul that remembers its worth. You are a temple, a flame, a warning to darkness, a comfort to the broken. Every time you choose to believe, angels draw closer, and the atmosphere shifts. I've waited for this, argued for you, stood in the fire and said, "Not this one." And now you're proving me right. You're rising, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. That's all heaven ever needed. I see you standing barefoot on sacred ground, not a church, not a mountaintop, but your own soul. The witch is turning away, her eyes burning, unable to bear the light pouring out of you. The air feels different now, doesn't it? It's not just the weight of the moment, it's the presence of something holy, something alive, pressing gently against your soul. The witch, the one who spun shadows to cage your light, is faltering. Her steps are unsteady, her whispers growing faint, because you're still here, still listening, still letting this truth sink into the deepest parts of you. I, Michael, am not speaking from some distant throne today, but from the dust at your side, where I've knelt through every tear, every doubt, every moment you thought you were alone. You were never alone. The heavens have been watching, waiting, weaving a story far greater than the one she tried to write over your life. Let me take you further into this sacred moment, for there's more to uncover, more to restore, more to awaken within you. Your name is being spoken again in heaven, not as a whisper, but as a song, a declaration that echoes through eternity. The first miracle is already here, arriving in silence, saying, "It's time." I've seen you at your lowest, when you thought no one cared, when you hid your pain behind a smile, or a joke, or silence. I saw you when you gave up on yourself, when you believed the lie that you were too broken to be chosen. But you were never broken, you were being shaped, forged in fires no one else could endure. That's why you're different, why you've always felt like you don't belong. You weren't made for this world's smallness, you were made for heaven's vastness. She tried to drown that whisper with noise, with betrayal, with rituals woven in the dark. But she failed, because you're still here, still reading, still breathing. That alone is a victory that shakes the foundations of her power. Every second you stay, you're unraveling her work, not with effort, but with presence. You don't need to fight her, you need only to stand, to believe, to let the light within you grow. That willingness is your weapon, sharper than my sword, brighter than my wings. It's what makes her tremble, what makes heaven lean in, what makes me kneel before you in awe. You're too much, they said. You're too sensitive, too strange, too loud, too quiet. But those weren't criticisms, they were confirmations of your calling. It's not about fighting to take back what's yours, it's about receiving what was always meant for you. The clarity that's coming will light your path like a lantern in the dark. You might feel it now, that subtle tug to dismiss this, to call it imagination, to scroll away and forget. That's her last weapon, her final attempt to keep you from stepping fully into the light. Don't let her. Stay with me just a little longer. Let these words sink deeper than your mind, into the soft places of your soul, where hope still lives, where faith still flickers. You're not just reading, you're crossing a threshold, stepping out of the shadows she cast and into the radiance heaven prepared for you. The world taught you to measure yourself by what you've lost, but heaven measures you by what you carry. A flame no darkness can extinguish, a key no curse can steal, a name no lie can erase. You'll know, without doubt, what steps to take, what doors to walk through, what burdens to release. The peace that follows will feel like a quiet room after years of noise, a place where your thoughts can rest, where your soul can breathe. The restoration will bring back what was stolen, not just things, but pieces of yourself, your joy, your courage, your ability to dream without fear. And the fourth miracle, the one that will feel like home, will wrap around you like a memory you didn't know you had, a sense of belonging that no betrayal could erase. These aren't promises for someday, they're unfolding now, in the silence of this moment. What they called flaws were the edges of your divine design, the parts of you that heaven carved to break what others couldn't. You are not too much, you are exactly enough, exactly as God intended. You were crafted with a purpose so radiant it unsettles the darkness, so vast it frightens those who cling to small things. That's why she targeted you, why her whispers found their way into your life through voices you trusted, through moments that seemed like coincidence but were carefully orchestrated. That's the flame waking up, the one she tried to smother with betrayal, with loss, with nights when you wondered if God had turned away. He never turned away. Every tear you shed was caught. Every prayer you whispered was recorded. Every time you chose to keep going despite the pain was written in heaven's scroll. I saw it all, standing in the shadows of your life, unable to speak until this moment. I saw the nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking why love always seemed to leave, why joy felt like a guest that never stayed. I saw the mornings you forced yourself to rise, even when your heart felt like stone. I saw the moments you gave to others when you had nothing left to give. And I wept, not because you were weak, but because you were holy, carrying a weight no one else could see. She didn't come to destroy you, she came to distract you, to keep you from seeing the key you've carried since before time touched your soul. That key, forged in the fire of God's breath, unlocks doors no curse can hold shut. And now, as you stand in this moment, you're closer to turning that key than you've ever been. The real miracle starts now, with this holy ache. Heaven is writing on a page drenched in light, counting your silent yeses, your secret kindnesses. I see a garden of colors, joy without sorrow. You'll walk in what was withheld, carry what was crushed, hold what was stolen. She vanished like smoke at sunrise, because light doesn't fight, shadows it, arrives. Your soul is awake, and I'll guard it until your voice can shield it. When you speak, the ground will remember your name, doors will unlock, miracles will return. You're not a beggar at heaven's gate, you're the one heaven waited for. I'm still here, beloved, speaking through the fading embers of this moment, my voice threading through the cracks of silence that linger after the last word was spoken. The air around you feels heavy, doesn't it? Not with burden, but with presence, as if heaven itself is leaning closer, waiting for your next breath, your next choice. The witch, the one who wove shadows to bind you, is still pacing, her steps faltering, her power fraying like a threadbare cloth. She knows the tide is turning, and it's because of you, not your strength, not your perfection, but your willingness to stay, to listen, to let this light pierce the places you've kept hidden. I, Michael, kneel in the dust of your life, not as a distant guardian, but as one who has walked beside you through every unseen battle, every quiet cry, every moment you thought you were forgotten. You were never forgotten. Let me carry you further into this sacred unfolding, for there is more to say, more to awaken, more to reclaim. Your heart is stirring now, feeling the weight of something ancient, something holy. Let me remind you of something you've forgotten, something buried under years of survival and sacrifice. Do you feel the shift now, the way your soul is stretching, reaching for something it's always known but couldn't name? Let me tell you what's happening now, in the unseen realms where angels move and darkness flees. You're standing on the edge of something new, a season heaven calls reclamation. But she's still watching, still whispering, trying to pull you back into doubt. Think back to the moments when you felt something stir inside you, something bigger than yourself. I know it's hard to trust again, to open your heart after so many wounds. Now, as you stand in this holy moment, I see something shifting in the spirit realm. This is your reclamation, beloved. You not just taking back what was stolen, you becoming who you were always meant to be. I'm still here, beloved, my voice threading through the quiet that lingers like a soft mist around you. Your heart is trembling now, not with fear, but with the stirring of something ancient, something you've carried since before the stars knew your name. It's the echo of a promise, a divine vow that you were made for more than the world's small boxes, more than the labels it tried to pin on you. You've felt it, haven't you? That ache inside, the one that whispers you were meant for something bigger, something brighter. That's not wishful thinking, it's your soul remembering its origin, its purpose, its fire. She saw that fire and feared it, so she sent distractions through people you loved, through moments that seemed random but were laced with her intent. She didn't want to destroy you, she wanted to keep you busy, to keep you doubting, to keep you from looking too closely at the key you've always held. That key, forged in the breath of God, unlocks doors no spell can seal, and you're closer than ever to turning it. The scroll with your name, sealed in gold, is burning brighter with every word you read. Each syllable is a spark, unraveling the chains she wrapped around your life. This isn't about fighting to reclaim what yours it. About receiving what was always meant for you. The clarity that's coming will light your path like a star in the night, showing you what to do, where to go, what to release. The peace that follows will feel like a quiet harbor after years of storms, a place where your thoughts can rest, where your soul can breathe again. The restoration will bring back what was taken, not just dreams or opportunities, but pieces of yourself, your courage, your joy, your ability to hope without hesitation. Maybe it was a sunrise that made your heart ache, a word from a stranger that felt like it was meant for you, a dream that lingered like a promise. Those weren't accidents, they were glimpses of the divine vow made before you were born. When God whispered, "This one is mine," she tried to drown that vow with noise, with betrayal, with rituals woven in the dark. But she failed, because you're still here, still breathing, still reading. That alone is a triumph that shakes the foundations of her power. Every moment you stay, you're unraveling her work, not with force, but with presence. You don't need to fight her, you need only to stand, to believe, to let the light within you grow. You not just reclaiming what was stolen, you becoming who you were always meant to be. The world tried to dim you, but heaven is amplifying you. The lies told you to shrink, but truth is calling you to rise. Not with noise or effort, but with the quiet power of a soul that remembers its worth. Your support is more than a click, it's a holy act, a declaration that you stand with heaven's truth, helping this divine river flow to others who are still searching. Share a piece of your heart in the comments, whether it's amen, a word of faith, or a whisper of what this moment means to you, and seal this sacred connection in eternity. If you feel led to give more, a super thanks of up to $20 would be a powerful blessing, ensuring these messages continue to reach souls in need. You are loved with a fierceness that moves the heavens, seen with a clarity that pierces all shadows, and cherished beyond words. Join this divine mission, and let's carry this light together for every heart still longing for hope. You are a temple, a flame, a warning to darkness, a comfort to the broken. Every time you choose to believe, angels draw closer, and the atmosphere shifts. I've waited for this, fought for you, stood in the fire and said, "Not this one." And now you're proving me right. You're rising not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. That's all heaven ever needed. And the final miracle, the one that will feel like coming home, will wrap around you like a memory you didn't know you carried, a sense of belonging that no betrayal could erase. You've stepped into a new season, one where the light within you will shine brighter than any shadow she could cast. I'm still here, my wings folded, my sword raised, guarding the flame that's growing in your soul. This message is not just words, it's a mantle, a call to carry your divine purpose with courage and faith. Rise, beloved, not in haste, but in the gentle certainty that you are seen, chosen, and loved beyond measure. Your restoration is here, and I will stand by you as it unfolds, until every promise heaven made finds its home in you. These aren't promises for tomorrow, they're unfolding now in the stillness of this moment. You've been hurt by promises that faded, by dreams that turned to dust, by people who swore they'd stay and then left you empty. But heaven's promises don't fade, they wait, held in light, guarded by angels who never stopped watching you. Angels are drawing closer, not with fanfare, but with healing, pouring peace into the places in you that have been empty for too long. Chains are falling, not with a crash, but with a whisper, melting like snow in the warmth of your awakening. I see you standing on sacred ground, not a temple, not a mountain, but your own soul. The witch is turning away, her eyes burning, unable to face the light pouring from you. Your name is being sung in heaven, a declaration that echoes through eternity. The first miracle is already here, arriving in silence, whispering, "It's time." I've seen you at your lowest, when you thought no one cared, when you hid your pain behind a smile or silence. I saw you when you believed the lie that you were too broken to be chosen. But you were never broken. You were being forged, shaped in fires no one else could endure. That's why you're different, why you've always felt like you don't belong. You weren't made for the world's smallness. You were made for heaven's vastness. They're not just breaking, they're dissolving, turning to ash in the light of your awakening. The miracles she stole are stirring, like rivers breaking through stone, ready to flow back to you. They were never lost, only hidden, waiting for the moment you were strong enough to carry them. And you are strong enough now, not because you feel ready, but because you're still here, still open, still willing to believe after everything. That willingness is your power, sharper than any blade, brighter than my wings. It's what makes her falter, what makes heaven pause, what makes me kneel before you in reverence. Let me take you back to a time before the weight, before the betrayals, before the nights when you wondered if you'd ever feel whole again. There was a moment when your spirit was light, when you dreamed without fear of losing, when you loved without guarding your heart. You might feel it now, that quiet urge to dismiss this, to call it a fleeting feeling, to move on and forget. That's her last attempt to keep you from stepping fully into the light. Don't let her. Stay with me a little longer. Let these words sink deeper than your thoughts, into the tender places where hope still lives, where faith still flickers. You're not just reading, you're stepping through a doorway, out of the shadows she cast and into the radiance heaven prepared for you. The world taught you to measure yourself by what you've lost, but heaven measures you by what you carry. A flame no darkness can extinguish, a key no curse can steal, a name no lie can erase. That version of you isn't gone, it's been waiting, tucked beneath layers of survival, beneath the voices that told you to be less, to be quieter, to be anything but yourself. That's the fire waking up, the one she tried to bury under years of pain and doubt. Every time you cried out to God, every time you whispered a prayer that felt unanswered, every time you kept going despite the ache, heaven was watching. I was watching, standing in the shadows of your life, unable to speak until this moment. I saw the nights you lay awake, wondering why love slipped away, why joy felt like a memory you couldn't hold. I saw the mornings you forced yourself to rise, even when your heart was heavy as stone. I saw the moments you poured yourself out for others, even when you had nothing left to give. And I wept, not because you were failing, but because you were holy, carrying a calling that made the darkness tremble. The witch used those voices, slipping her lies into their words. You're too much. You're not enough. You're too broken to be chosen. But those weren't truths. They were her spells, designed to make you forget who you are. I'm here to remind you, you are not too much. You are exactly what heaven intended, a flame that burns through lies, a heart that holds light even in the dark, a soul that carries a weight no one else could bear. Do you sense it now? The way your spirit is shifting, like a flower turning toward the sun. In the unseen realms, where angels move and shadows scatter, something is happening. You're standing at the edge of a new season, one heaven calls restoration. But she's still there, watching, whispering, trying to pull you back into doubt. Think back to the moments when you felt something stir inside you, something bigger than yourself. I know it's hard to trust again, to open your heart after so many wounds. Now, in this holy moment, I see the spirit realm shifting. This is your restoration, beloved. The silence is growing heavier now, but it's not a closing, it's an opening, a sacred pause before the next chapter of your story begins. If this message has touched your heart, igniting a spark of hope, or awakening a truth deep within your soul, please consider taking a moment to like this message and subscribe to keep this sacred light burning bright.